Hello, everyone, and welcome to the new Racing Social App podcast. I'm joined by Harry Roberts, Dawn Leland-Bolger, and Matty Ingle. How are we, team?
All
Great.
good.
Yeah,
Dawn,
good.
you nice and warm from the horse box?
I know, like I said to you, Joe, I'm emulating my inner pink David Yates. So whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, who knows? But I'm cozy.
Definitely. So we're hopeful of some racing this weekend. But before we start, we're going to have a look back at what was a smashing weekend. And there's no better place to start than Edwardstone, the horse that keeps proving me wrong. And Eddie, as you call him, Dawn, he was just superb, wasn't he, last week?
Oh, he was amazing, Joe. And you know, like I was over in France and I was praying and hoping and wishing that he'd turn up. And I know, look, and you felt a bit of the downs that I felt on Sunday with Champ Kylie. You felt it for Shishkin. And look, no one wants to see a legend like that beaten. I was worried about Shishk. I was worried, but I could not disregard Eddie. And he was 6-1 as well. You're kind of going, this is bonkers. How could you let him go off at that? And they've set their plan now too. He's going to the Desert Orchid, then he's going to the Game Spirit, and then they say the Champion Chase in March. So, you know, the plan is there. The guys who own him, they're a joy. And he's by now the late Kaftara as well. So it's a lovely story, a really lovely story. And he didn't only just win. I mean, he just went. He just went, and he could have turned around and waved to the rest of them. I was so impressed. And yes, there was a lot of people disappointed, and understandably, about Shishkin, but I think we need to now say, Eddie, I took him seriously last year, but we all need to give him the respect that he deserves.
I won't take him on again. But Harry, can he beat an Ergamine in the championship?
Well, he's the best out we bloody got, isn't he? Like you said, what he done the weekend, beat the form horse, Grenadine coming in after winning the Holden Gold Cup, Grade 1 winner at the track, absolutely blew the socks off of it. He's one of those horses, I think, he'll never get the credit he deserves. He's been there, he's done that now, he's got the T-shirt. He should have a hell of a chance going on to Cheltenham. And like you say, against the Nergamine, yeah, Nergamine is a really, really good horse. But he's the best we got, so why not? Why can't he do it?
Mm-hmm. And Matty, Shishkin, disappointing, but was it that bad in hindsight? First run of the season after an injury at a track he's never ran in before.
No,
was it as bad apart from the mistake? Would he have been closer?
He probably ran his race. Interesting. He did look at like he'd lost a yard of pace compared to last season. Maybe a step up in trip is needed. Listen, you take nothing away from Edwardstone. He was fantastic, and he is a right challenge from March. Just thinking about Ascot a couple of weeks before, if he ran off 12 stone, he would have absolutely trounced that field off 12 stone. How impressive would that have been?
Yeah, be like the home press last week, the weekend before, wasn't it?
Exactly.
Did we, same with you, mate? Did we see the Arkle winner stand down on Saturday?
Oh,
still not sure.
I think we did, only because what happened to Banbridge on Sunday.
But that was ground, Matty. That was ground, sir. I don't think we've seen the real one.
No, and I actually think although he won a Martin Pipe, I think his speed over fences is second to none. I think back down to 2 miles will suit him better. I mean, you can't fault John Bon. He was so impressive, but I don't know. There's something about John Bon I just can't take to. I don't know what it is. I just can't take to him.
Harry, your face lights up every time his name gets mentioned. You're not taking him on, are you?
No, I love the horse. He's like a little gazelle, isn't he? He's a smart, neat jumper, and you just look how fast he is coming away from the fences. He's nipping all those little lengths, jumps like a gazelle. He's got the pedigree. He's by JP, you know what I mean? He's everything you want to see. Hopefully come Cheltenham, I'll be right with Matty and Matty will be wrong, but I think he's the Arkle winner. 100%.
So on Saturday, when I was seeing him, he literally just take your breath away visually walking out of course. He's just a magnificent animal. And from the Irish point of view, would he worry you for the Arkle?
He'd worry me, Joe. He would. And you sent me a video of him, and I just went. He takes the eye out. He's beautiful. He's I had a lot of show horses, and to me, you could bring him to the Horse of the Year show and he'd win a show hunter class. And I'll probably be dug out over this because I was dug out over saying a horse looked like a side saddle horse before, but physically, he is beautiful. He's a chunk, and his coat, and he just has it. Now, Mighty Potter, okay, over with us. Damn.
Yep.
And I was at the preview just before, and fair play to Gordon, he said take him at 5s. And what he did, and I took the slow-mo video of him, I thought he was beautiful. I think he might put, he's 14s for the Arkle, he might put it to John Bon. Banbridge, I wouldn't throw him out yet. I think the ground went against him. I completely agree with what Matty is saying. But John Bon, God, there's just something about him. There's something about him.
Even so, John Bon, as good as he looked, he wasn't the best looking horse there Saturday, because Sprinter Saka was there and he looked absolutely magnificent. Unbelievable. Matt, you wouldn't want him going in, would you? He's even at his age.
He is the horse that got me into racing.
I think a fair few people say the same.
When he regained his title, I just started work for Nigel Twiston.
Okay.
And I screamed the place down.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable. And I'm lucky to say I've met Sprinter. He was in a field at Nigel's for a short while, so I had a good cuddle with him one summer's afternoon, and it was hard to keep me away from the paddock, to be fair.
That's it, yeah. Good memories. Over at Aintree on Saturday, Noble Yates won the Many Clouds Chase. Quick line on him. Is he a Gold Cup horse, Harry?
Oh, he's got to be. You have a look at a Grand National return a foot like that. It was absolutely incredible. He made decent horses look like terribly handicapped horses. And to do that, being a Grand National winner, yeah, he's got to be in the chase for the Gold Cup.
And Ahoy Senor, Dawn, he's becoming a bit of a nearly horse. I was very disappointed in him, the way he didn't get up for second. He got a winner to not even getting second.
Yeah, I was disappointed because, of course, you were hoping that the Lahan Press form was rock solid. But then again, we said, well, there was a chink in his armour with Brave Man's Game. I was stupid. I was foolish. I was all types of silly to completely disregard Noble Yates. Because when I look back, and we'll forget about his run at Otay, that was, he was only back. That Wexford run kind of told you a lot, and Sean Bone came over and rode him that day. Now, Hurricane Georgie, she was a Midlands National winner, and she was second behind him, so she's noteworthy as well to be finishing behind him with the way he ran last week. Noble Yates, he's definitely a Gold Cup contender. I know he's going to Lingfield next. That's the plan. But Christ almighty, 6-1. And he was able to just go like that. It was like a rocket. And for a Grand National winner that people nowadays, they don't respect anymore. They say, oh, they win a Grand National and Tiger Roll, he was a freak. And yes, in a way, he was a freak. But Noble Yates, and Ahoy Senor, we go back to the drawing boards. He's frustrating now for me.
Was the Supreme winner out Saturday in Facile Vega, Matty?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Confident vote. Dawn, you nodding?
Oh, God. I call him the horse with the Midas touch. And by God, he does. Anything, I say the crows that fly over him go and win something, because he's just that good. You've seen Sengor Clegane, for all the Game of Thrones fans, who was second to him. He won a brilliant race 2 weeks ago. Better Days Ahead, who won on Sunday at Fairy House, was second to a horse that was third to Facile Vega. So it's ding, 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 ding. What more do you want? They were going on about speeds. They were going on about his jumping again. Bore off. Come on, please, seriously. Give him. Tony Mullen said he's the best horse in the world now. And I know, Constitution Hill, we're going to have this, bust up until March and whenever, okay? But Tony knows his ponies, and he says he's the best horse.
Okay. Harry, the downer of Honeysuckle, is this a decline, or is it just a blip?
It was sad to watch. It was one of those, like, you want to see her keep that winning stretch going. Dawn was mentioned earlier about the ground. Could that have been a factor? Yes. First run, the yard isn't in the best type of form. It was one of those. A lot of horses on that card got beaten. So you can put a lot of marks through that. But to see what she's like next time, if she flops next time, maybe going to have to start thinking what her future lies for her. I think she's still got it in her, but I don't know. With the horses she's going to be facing this season, especially Constitution Hill, I don't know. It's a head scratcher to say the least.
It was a shame because obviously everyone knows I love Constitution Hill. We just wanted everyone to get there unbeaten. State Man, Honeysuckle, Constitution Hill all get there unbeaten and have a good old tear up. So does it take something away from the champion hurdle this year, Dawn, if she doesn't go?
Yeah, it does, Joe. It left a bitter taste. And don't get me wrong, I was so delighted for Tiapu, who actually his last 2 races finished last behind Honey. Last. So it is a head scratcher. But what I'd say is she wasn't disgraced. You know, when Rachel asked her, and she was coming at the end. I've watched the race now. I stood there in the buckets of rain. Classical Dream, I've been waxing lyrical about him. You know, he needs respect as well. He looks like an out and out stayer though. And Tiapu, again, when the rain came, Gordon said, don't disregard him at 25s. He said it, apart from him bringing you up to the bookies. Yeah. He basically was telling you, and I'm delighted for Erica, she was overwhelmed, who does Tiapu, and the people who own him. But do you ever get that low sinking feeling?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was everybody kind of scarpered after Honey.
Yeah.
We needed it. She's our national treasure. And we need her in the champion hurdle. I know the next plan is she's going to Dublin Racing Festival, all going well. But at the end of the day, she owes us nothing. I get into silly bust-ups with Noel from Navan and Mary from Monasterevan on Twitter. I'm probably never going to meet about Honey. You can't disregard her. For one, she was 3rd. Limestone Lad was beaten and then went on and won again. So, you know, as I always say, I respect the horsegasmic horse that is Constitution Hill. I have a hell of a lot of respect, and State Man is on my mind all the time. But Honey, she'll come back. I believe it. I truly believe it.
And over on Sunday, Matty, we've seen Pick Dory. The owners have always held him in high regard. He's slowly starting to show glimpses of that early potential, and he was good on Sunday, wasn't he?
He's brilliant. Foot perfect at every fence. And to be fair, he went a very, very strong gallop, and he got a lot of them out of the comfort zone very early. But his jumping was just insane. He was taking lengths out of every other horse while being fairly clear. And he had the race won from 4 out.
He had a shades of the early career surname about him, way he attacked.
Yeah. The way he just locked on, attacked every fence, and landed 3-4 lengths clear either side of the fence was impressive. I was very impressed.
Yeah. So that concludes our weekend roundup, and what a weekend it was. I don't think we're going to get as many stories this weekend from the racing. Just hope it goes ahead. But we're going to start off, we're going to go through the ITV7 races. We're going to start off at the 1:30 at Doncaster. Dawn, juvenile hurdle to get stuck into first, and a couple of these double entered. So where did your heart lie?
Okay, you've got Joseph O'Brien's Nesbitt, and you remember when I seen him 3 weeks ago now, Joe, wasn't it, Punchestown? And I sent you a message and I said, I thought I had seen the Triumph Hurdle winner in Cougar, but I think this double green Nesbitt by Golden Horn, I think he's the real deal. And the way Daryl Jacobs spoke about him afterwards, he'd a mighty win. He was 5-2. I don't know how he went off at 5-2 that day. And like even Daryl said, he rode him as a 2-year-old. He didn't even know he was going jumping. And he said he'd make a very good jumps horse. He's at the moment, I had a little look at prices, the way they're changing and everything. He's 14s for the Triumph. I like him. I like him a lot for that. And he was only a 62 grand purchase at Deauville. So if he turns up, if he goes to Donny, fair enough. And scriptwriter possibly goes to Cheltenham then, I don't know. But I think an awful lot of scriptwriter too. I know we had him as our winner a couple of weeks ago. And, you know, he's the ex-Aidan O'Brien recruit, Perseus Way, who was second to him. You know, he went on and won 25 lengths at Leicester, and he's actually Cheltenham bound. He's not double entry tomorrow. So what do I do? Do I go head? Do I go heart? If Nesbitt turns up at Donny, Nesbitt wins.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you there, Dawn. And that's a good little bet for the Triumph Hurdle as well before the weekend, I'd say, because he wins at the weekend, then he's going to obviously shorten a lot.
Very much, yeah. He's tasty at the moment.
Harry, the Irish taking this?
Like I said, it depends who turns up. If scriptwriter does turn up, which I highly doubt it, I'll probably be playing him. Let's say the Yard won it last year with Night Salute, but it does look like he's going to be going to Cheltenham. If he doesn't turn up, I might have a small play on Trojan Horse, X-Flat with Charlie and Mark Johnson, third on debut. Won a nice race at Fontwell Park. Does need to improve, about £19 to be figuring in this race, but currently 9-1. Might get a small raw 4, but like I said, if scriptwriter turns up, I'll be backing him. If not, I'm going to small each on Trojan Horse.
Okay. Matty, where do you see this at the minute?
Pretty much echo the thought to everyone. I think if scriptwriter turns up at Donny, I'll probably have a small play on him. Very impressed with what he's done so far. I mean, Milton Harris is fantastic with his juveniles. Absolutely brilliant with his juveniles. But if Joseph turns up at Donny, he's going to take all the beating. And it's interesting to see with Zarak the Brave getting beat as well over in Ireland at the weekend. If this wins, this will be the Double Green's main hope for the Triumph.
Yeah.
So 14 before it wins at the weekend, I'd get on.
Yeah, might have to agree with that. So we move on to the 240 now, which is the Bet365 handicap chase. It's a lovely race, Matty, isn't it? You can get started.
Thanks. I like Charlie Longton's horse, Manasane. Is it Manasane?
Yeah.
I watched it win actually at Huntston the other week. Won by a neck, but they pulled something stupid like 60-yard lengths clear the third. I think that's right. Anyway, it was miles clear of the third. I mean, it's been nudged up £3. Should defy that £3 rise, and could easily go in again. But it's not a better race for me, really.
No. The one I'm willing to give a chance for is Fate Champetra. I think that's how you say it, Dawn, anyway. That we know our pronunciations. Mark's on the slide. They're playing around with Trip at the minute, but 1/2 as a hurdler and a bumper horse. 2 mile 5 last time out really stretched him. Dropped slightly in Trip here, and it's definitely a work each way squeak. But like Matty said, not really a strong opinion. Harry, any strong opinion on this?
I'll be lying if I said I'd probably have a small play on Full of Light, Nicky Anderson's horse. Darryl Jacob gets the lead up here. Was all right as a hurdler, nothing spectacular. Chase debut at Exeter in a decent little race. I think Bow's Greatness a second, Black Jerry won. Didn't jump particularly well, but currently 13-2. Nicky Anderson knows the time of day, and if he can get him jumping, Darryl Cook getting involved at a nice price.
Dawn, are you going for the favourite?
You just want me to pronounce it, don't you? You're so mean. I am trying to teach myself, but I'm actually watching Buffy the Vampire Slayer in French for it to sink in. Herrick de Molde. It's the favourite anyway. Brian Hughes is up, James Ewart. Look, it's a head scratcher. What do I know about handicaps anyway, you know?
Exactly, so you've been told.
Only the 12-1 winner last week, but sure, there you go. Look, good winner in France. And, you know, we like our bit of Frenchy form. We like our French horses. The 365-day layoff, and then he was second. to a good horse that's gone on and won a chase for Stuart Colliard on the 2nd of December. So that's what I liked. I had a little bit of a play there. And I'm with Harry with Full Light. He was with Mags Mullins. He won a flat race for Mags Mullins. Diva Racing have him, Captain Tomcat's owners, and they've a good horse out in Dubai that wins a good bit as well with Bupap Seymour. So they kind of know what they've got. And it's a nice horse. He was bought at Cheltenham Sales, 58,000. He's an okay price. Little bit of form. Gary Moore's horse, Black Jerry, and I went a little bit digging further back. He was third to Dubrovnik Harry, who was also third to Hermes Boy in December. So out of the two of them, will I go for the favourite with the name I can't pronounce for the life of me, or do I go for Full Light? If you want value, go for Full Light. If you don't, go for the Frenchie that's favourite.
The ITV7 seemed to really stitch us up this week, Matty. The 3:15 at Doncaster's next, and it doesn't get any stronger. I'm going to swerve this one because there's very little winning form to go on at all.
I've wrote down 5 words.
You repeat on one like.
I can't even pronounce the name. Milton Harris's horse, Garouche Dallier.
Yeah.
I wrote down handicap debut. I'll take a chance.
Okay, nice and short and sweet. Dawn?
My pronunciation, because I love Les Miserables, is Gavroche Dallier. I think it could be.
That sounds better than my pronunciation.
Gavroche. I won't start singing, but there's a little bit of night salute form in there because he was 100 to 1/3. Paul Nichols' horse, Raband, and he met Night Salute, who had won twice. So if you go digging back into his history, just go digging. I think that's why. I'm not going to say I know a lot about this race. It frustrated me. It was the one that I kind of got, when I was in college, I got a lot of writer's block. I had a lot of punting block here, if that's a phrase. So
definitely.
Let's hope we're not all Les Miserables with Gavroche, but it's the Night Salute stuff that's sticking out to me here. And it's Milton Harris again. In Milton Harris we trust,
Okay, that's 2 for Gavroche. Harry, is it 3?
Oh, you'd think this is a bloody Wednesday afternoon, wouldn't you? Like £25 to get in, have your burger and chips, spike off work. But if I was going to have a small play, which I probably won't, but we've got to put something up. Watergrange Jack for Neil Mulholland. Richie McClure gets on board. £8 Harden's last winning mark. It's the race that it should be running in. We'll have to improve. But like I say, around about 15 to have a couple of pound each way. Cheer it on for the sake of it.
Okay. So just a quick reminder, if you would like to subscribe to the Racing Social app, YouTube channel, and then download the app, there is a competition on there, which is the ITV7 races. That'll be a weekly competition. As we progress, there'll be giveaways, stuff like that. So keep your eyes on that. So we're going to get stuck into the action at Cheltenham now, which is that 150, the December Gold Cup Handicap Chase. And it's quite a good renewal on ratings, in my opinion. So, Harry, what takes your eye on this?
Well, it was between the greys here. I like Stolen Silver. I haven't seen him in his last run. But I'm going to give a Warlord here. An absolute conkers when he ran in the Hold'em Gold Cup. Went up there. It was bloody Baltic. And then you end on that. But he's a classy horse in his time, you know what I mean? Gets into this kind of a prep run last time. I was watching that back and it was like he was coming into it. Then he got flat-footed. And then he ran on again slightly. The form of that race is solid with Grenadine. He's around about 8 to 1. Brendan Powell back on after the spill. It's one of those. He's the class horse in the race. Does have to carry a fair bit of weight. But I should like the ground conditions at 8 to 1. Looks more than an each way price, in my opinion.
Okay. Dawn, it's you.
Fantastic lady, Joe. I liked her last year.
Last time.
Yeah, really, really like her. 8 to 1, she's carrying 11-4. You've got Pictory form in there too. She was third to him in February in a chase at Kempton. 2 wins before that at Bangor and Warwick, on good to soft. She also beat Zanella, who was 4 to Ellie May at Cheltenham. So you've got Ellie Mae's form, you've got Stormy Ireland, who is now retired but was second to Marie's Rock, and then you've Epatante, who we've got coming up, who I'm very, very excited about. So fantastic lady, 8-1. I think, you know, she's definitely worth a squeak. She's worth being respected. I think she's a massive price at that. And a little shout again to David Maxwell, who's, you know, a man of the sport and a man of the people on Simply the Bets. And wouldn't we love, last week I thought it was super, albeit you can argue about that race, but still credit where credit's due, and he thought like a jockey. So I wouldn't mind seeing that happen either, but fantastic lady for me. And if it can't be, let it be Simply the Bets and David.
I had to back David Maxwell last week, Dolphin Square. He's 16-1. He's sorted out my weekend for me. So fair play to David Maxwell. I like one of the babes of the field in this, and that's Il Ridotto. Fourth in the Paddy Power, off £1 higher. Obviously, the front two aren't in this race this time. That was his seasonal debut. So I think is probably more in the tank from him. He was bang there at the finish, and he didn't wilt up the hill like some people said. He was bang. He was carrying himself all the way to the line. He's probably further back than ideal in the early skirmishes, which didn't help the situation at the end. But I've got reason to believe he'll be wiser, he'll be fitter, and he must go close for me. At 9-2, I know he's favourite, but I like him. I think he's always going places. Matty, what do you think of the favourite? Sure,
I'm with you. Obviously, fourth in a very similar race last time, up a pound. I thought he might have finished slightly bit closer. He did half clatter the last time out. As you said, fitter, only a pound higher. 9-2 is more than a fair bet. But I do agree with Harry about Warlord as well. Probably is the class animal in the race. Personally, I like it a touch softer for him, but yeah, I'm with the pair of you there, Il Ridotto and Warlord.
Okay, I'd like to see Il Ridotto ridden a bit more close to the pace this time.
Yeah, I mean these type of races, if you're in the wrong place at the wrong time, no matter where you are, you're in trouble, especially around Cheltenham. There's no hiding place around Cheltenham. So you need a bit of luck on the day. But yeah, 9-2 for the favourite and about 8-1 for Warlord. Both fair bets.
Okay. Number 225, the National Hurdle, and it's probably one of the best fields I've seen in a long time in a race. It's only 5 runners, but 4 of them are high class. So, Dawn, I know you're excited to see Epatante, and can she do the business on Saturday?
She can, Joe. She can. It's kind of like what I was saying about the Midas touch, you know, that Facile Vega has. You kind of go now, Constitution Hill has to have as well. And had CH not turned up in the fighting fifth, it would have been Epatante, you know, it would have been. And let's give her respect too. 6-time Grade 1 hurdle winner. I was so excited to see her at Punchestown in April when she came over. And I mean, the rain came, and the year before she was third to Honey, and then she was third to Marie's Rock this year. And I kind of went, well, maybe she doesn't particularly like Punchestown, you know, but that annihilation of Montmoral at Aintree, I can't forget that. I thought that was super. And McFabulous was third to her that day. So the ground will go in her favour, the weight will go in her favour. I'd love to see nothing more than her just, you know, hack up. And the others, a lot of respect, but Epatante, a woman's work, she is delightful and exciteful. So she's for me.
Okay. She's still only 8 years old, Harry, so she's still in the peak of her powers. Does she win Saturday?
Oh, she's got to. You got to get back to, I think, 2019 to the last time she ran out of Grade 1 company. She's all the class in this race. She's £2 hard in the second favourite. I like to move it in receipt of £5 also. How this is around about a 6-4, 5-4 poke. Oh, beyond me, to be honest, I would have around about 4-6 on. I like to move it. Yeah, it's the court form horse. He likes it around there, you know what I mean? He is a classy horse in his day. I did watch the interview when he won last time, said he's kind of like the new one. can't be having it 15 to 8 at the current price. It's got to be having a laugh. I think if you're going to play an exotic bet, maybe Epperton, Napper Tail. It's a bit of value in there. But I just can't have I like to move it at all 15 to 8. And I think 6, 4.5. Lump your bollocks on there.
It's a horrible race for me because I love them all. Napper's Hill was one of my horses to follow a couple of years back. I like to move it. I tipped him up for the Great Wood Hurdle. Did me a turn there. I'm gonna stick with I like to move it, but it's a brave shout. But I'm gonna have to stick with him now. Matty, Napper's Hill obviously beat So Real last time out, getting £6. Would a repeat of that be good enough to trouble the front two here? I don't think so. What do you think?
Probably not. We all know how good a horse So Real is on his day, but he is getting on a bit now. Them legs must be getting a bit tired and a bit sort of past his best. I actually really like to move it here. Harry must think I'm just going against him all the time.
Oh, mate, I've been wrong plenty of times, so don't worry about that.
But I just think he is the course horse. He absolutely loves it round Cheltenham. I was so impressed with what he did in the Great Wood. I led up in the race. To carry that weight in a Great Wood hurdle and trounce a decent field with 12 stone on his back was pretty impressive. I know it was a muddling race with doled out hurdles and 17 false starts and stupid things like that. But no, I really like him. Listen, Epperton, she's an absolute diamond. She's a queen, but I think she might just come unstuck on Saturday.
Younger legs.
Yeah. I can't believe she's only 8 though. I thought she was about 10. She's been around forever.
Yeah.
So I like to move it for 2 votes, Epperton another 2 votes. So I just, like we said earlier, I just hope racing goes ahead Saturday. This is a fantastic race. We move on now to the 3 o'clock, which is the Albert Bartlett Novices Hurdle Trial. This is straightforward for me. I think Outlaw Peter, I think he's a good thing. Second in the Persian War on seasonal debut. Enjoys good ground. He seems to have grown up a bit over the summer. I think he was a bit of a big baby before. Trip should bring out more improvement. I think Outlaw Peter is going to be very hard to beat, and that's hopefully a double on the card for the trainer, jockey, and owner. Harry, Albert Bartlett, where'd you see it?
Yeah, I'm going to join you there. I was there when he won at Exeter, and oh boy, did he look a hell of a horse. Looks picture in the pre-parade ring, looks picture in the paddock. The way he won, you couldn't have asked anything more. Like you said, the distance in time, it looks right up his street. He looks a horse, bit of a babyish last season. He's grown into an absolute shell of a monster here. Just getting better with each run. Like you said, second in the Persian War also at Chepstow. So you've got to respect this horse. And at the current prices, around about 2 to 1. Should relish a hill. Like you said, 2 to 1 is more than a fair price.
6 runners done, but fairly competitive. Is Outlaw Peter your idea of the winner?
I really like him, Joe. I went digging and digging. I like my bit of history, and he started off with Shark Hanlon. Shout out to Ewick and cheers. And when he did run in that flat race, he was second to the one and only 3 Stripe Life. So, you're going back that much further. And also he was second in October at Chepstow to Accidental Rebel, who himself way back when was 7 to Poseidon, who absolutely sluiced up today at Taunton. So, in Camilla Sharple's colours. So I was delighted. And I know we mentioned him a couple of weeks ago too. So I do like Outlaw Pete. I see a lot to go by him. I also would not disregard the Irish and John McConnell. When he sends something over, he sends something good over. Grand Soir, he did say after his last run he was going to put him away because he's ground dependent, but he hasn't put him away. He's sending him. And that last win that he had in the hurdle at Cork, they had changed after the first race like they did at Fairyhouse last week to soft. And the horse seemed to have no bother with that. He said it just takes him a while to wake up a little bit. He's 6 to 1 at the moment. Simon Torrance rides, and Simon Torrance, he is fantastic in the saddle too. He bet another horse of Gordon's, the Friday Man, which was very good as well, you know, back in August. So yeah, okay, you can argue he is a bit ground dependent, and that is kind of causing problems now too. But what I would acknowledge is that he has not put away this horse that he said he was going to. So a bit of value, 6-1 Grand Soir. Outlaw Pete, you've got Three Stripe Life in there, you know, you've got Poseidon in there. So I've got my bit of Irish interest. Outlaw Pete, Grand Soir each way. I know there's only 6, but you know, if you're looking for a bit of value.
Matty, you with the Outlaw Pizza camp?
Nope, I'm
No?
not. I'm actually with We've All Been Caught. I haven't been so physically impressed by the look of a horse like that for a long time.
Really?
I seen him at Cheltenham last time. I also led up in the race in I think it was a Barrymore trial. This horse is pushing on 17 hands. He is stunning. It was his first run over hurdles last time in the Grade 2 Barrymore trial, and he was a bit novice early on, and he got he was at the back, out the back of the telly, and he stayed on from miles back to finish third and galloped right up the hill and wasn't beaten all that far by Hermes Allen. We all know how good that horse is going to be. I just think if he's come on leaps and bounds for that run at Cheltenham, the step up in trip, he's the one to beat. I'm not a big fan of the Persian War form either. I just think it's a sort of an early season target for a lot of trainers because it's early season target. I don't think it's that the form's worth taking that literally.
No.
So I'm on We've All Been Caught, and the best thing is we're not going to see the best of him till he goes chasing.
Yeah. Okay, quite for We've All Been Caught. So now we move on to the last race of the day, and that is the 3:35 a mare's handicap hurdle. Another superb race. And I think like last time, myself and Dawn, we both tipped up Theatre Glory. I really fancied her for the Jerry Field and Newbury. She never got further than the 4th, unfortunately. Before this, she was on a 3-race streak. 137 mark. More to come. I think a lot of these have reached their peak marks, if that makes sense. She's going the opposite. She's on an upward curve, and I'm confident she is much better than the 137. So Theatre Glory for Nico de Boinville and Nicky Anderson for me. Matty, Martello Sky's a tough marker, isn't she?
She's my selection.
Yeah.
I absolutely adore her, and she's a horse that I've followed for a long time. I was very impressed with the first run of the season at Wetherby. I thought she ran a beautiful race. Obviously wasn't beaten all that far. I think it should be behind Molly Dolly's wishes that day.
Yeah.
I was disappointed with her run at Kempton last time. But it was a 3-runner trappy race. I didn't think Bryony give a bit too much to do. And I think this is more with my heart. Aidan Coleman back on her. She might have reached her mark now, but yeah, definitely heart over head, and she'll be getting back on the day because I always back her anyway.
Are we going back in for more on Theatre Glory, Dawn?
We are, Joe. We are. I mean, I have 3 of the ladies here. I could make a case for the 3 of them, but Theatre Glory, I think she was unlucky the other day. You know, Nathan was unseated. Nico's back up. Nico and Nathan have both won on her. She seems, you know, like I'd have her at 3-1. I really like her, and she's just, you can't ignore what she's won, and you can't ignore what she's beaten. To back up what Matty has said about Martello Sky, she's a bit of a heart horse for me. That day that she was bet at Kempton, possibly Bryony gave her too much. She did make a little mistake, but the horse that bet her, he's actually a Frankel, and he is entered at Plumpton on Monday. Just, you know, if anybody wants to have a little look, because I don't know how many Frankels are actually jumping of Paul Nicholls. So yeah, that's just something to look into too. But Martello Sky, Theatre Glory. You could make a case for Harry Fry's horse as well. She's 1-1-1-1. Lady Adair. Lorcan Murtagh's up, taking 3 off. She's only carrying 10-13. There's a bit of form with her too. So Johnny B, and we're looking at Jonathan Burke every Saturday now. He won and are back at Taunton in February as well. So what do? I'm split. Shall I go Theatre Glory? I'll go Theatre Glory. The other 2 are well worth looking at though too. And that horse at Plumpton on Monday, just for anybody who wants to notebook it, because it's a Frankel.
Harry, there's some very tough mares in this race. Whoever wins it has really got to earn it.
Yeah, exactly, mate. It's a great race on paper, and it should be a great race to watch in person if it does go ahead. Gonna go with Martello Sky also. The form's there. 2 runs are enlisted races. Done little wrong. Ran a good race last Kempton. The form's there with the horses. Same mark as when it last won at Cheltenham. Gets Aidan Coleman. 5-1. You can't go wrong. Try his heart out, you know what I mean? And like you say, 5-1 is a working man's price. It should be bang there, running to form.
Okay, that concludes the ITV races. Please get on the app and join the competition and subscribe to the channel. Before we leave you for the night, anything else for the weekend? I'm looking forward to Ramulee's making the chase debut over in Ireland on Saturday, and Eric Bloodaxe is back over hurdling. So, and the John Durkins obviously Sunday, weather permitting, obviously. Harry, anything else from the weekend from you?
Yeah, the 12:40 at Cheltenham on a Saturday. Monmorel makes a second start over fences. Would like to see that one absolutely dot up and back the Oracle winner's form. But other than that, it's just hopefully it is on. Be there in person, watch some cracking racing. Hopefully land a few bets.
Okay. Matty, anything notable from yourself?
I'm looking forward to an afternoon off on Saturday. We've got no runners, which is the first Saturday for a long time. So I'm going to sit back and watch the racing in the warmth from my own home. Can't wait.
The warm, and you've had a cold week, haven't you?
A very cold week, yeah.
Dawn, hopefully the John Decken goes ahead, and any other racing in Ireland. So is anything notable from yourself?
Oh, please God, it does, Joe. And I think at the moment, whereas we say Facile Vega has the Midas touch, Gordon Elliott has the Ramos touch. I mean, he'd 3 at Tremor the other day. He'd 4 today, 2 at Clonmel, 2 at Taunton, 7 at Fairyhouse the weekend. He's sending out the big guns. Dunboyne, who's won at Gowran recently, who refused at Punchestown 2 weeks beforehand. He's in the handicap chase at Navan. Hollow Games is out. Yeah. Novice chasing. I know you adore Eric Bloodaxe, and he ran fantastic, which was great to see him back to his winning ways. But Jungle Pros is in there, and she is a mare that deserves so much respect. Another Yates, and she's setting the world alight, and I know Gordon is very, very excited about her. Hope, wish and pray that John Durkin goes ahead, because that's our mini Christmas party. I just love it. Punchestown is only up the road. Punchestown Pints, they have my name, and it's Santa turns up. You've a Nergamine, you've got Master McShee back out, you've Captain Guinness, you've Global Equity, who is a very, very good mare too, who deserves heaps of respect. I seen her, she won with Mark McDonough, who won on Banbridge at Cheltenham. She won the Student Derby at the Curragh, and she was fantastic, and then recently won at Thurles. It's going to be a great race. Deeply Superficial is out as well, Joe, again.
Yeah, that's one on the radar,
one on your list, and we've also got Appreciated in the beginner's chase, exciting, and your Dino Blue as well is going to Cork.
Yeah, exactly. It's a stacked weekend when you think about it.
We need it. We need it to lift the morale. Look, last week it was rainbows and roller coasters, and it was fantastic, and it's the highs and lows. But this weekend again, we need it. We do, and the big guns are back out, and it's sexy racing.
That's brilliant. So hopefully we'll have some winners. Be nice. Matty, you have a nice morning tomorrow out in the old elements, shall we speak?
Just -4 tomorrow. Yeah. All the horses need to be ridden, and so if it's -4 or 30 degrees. We're still out there riding them. We've got 2 runners tomorrow. Yeah, one at Cheltenham, one at Doncaster, if all goes ahead.
Yeah.
Got short price favourite Donny, which on form should take all the beating. Was second last time in a nice handicap at Cheltenham. Into calmer waters tomorrow. Should take all the beating, but you know what these horses are like. What have we got? And we got Dominator running at Cheltenham. He's a lovely horse in his own right. Ran a great race last time, considering he had 600 odd days off the track. He's about 16 to 1. He's got bigger targets come to the end of the season. So, yeah, it's a nice quiet weekend for us. 2 runners tomorrow and none on Saturday. So, it'll be nice to enjoy the racing from home.
Definitely. And Harry, hopefully I'll see you tomorrow morning at Cheltenham.
Yeah, hopefully, mate. We need it, or otherwise it'll be on the bloody Cheltenham pub crawl. So, we'll do the racing.
Could be worse things, yeah. And Dawn, we'll love you and leave you before the icicles start forming in the old horse box.
Oh, I know. It's the thermals are on the thermals, but Matty, I'll be gifting you thermals for Christmas because I felt sorry for you the last few mornings. Now, my fat ponies, they don't go out up till 11 or 12 o'clock in the morning. So I pitied you, but a Kickstarter fund, thermals for Matty, I think.
Thanks for watching, everyone, and hopefully we've got some winners for you. And please subscribe to the Racing Social YouTube channel. Get the app, and we'll see you next week where we'll be previewing Ascot. Cheers, everyone.